I don't really know if an ulcer as bad as this is actually curable or not. This is a story of an incredibly sore ulcer in cow 2803. So this cow first came into our crush months and months ago, and this is the state of her foot. This is a montage of 4 different visits where we've already seen 2803. She had this colossal ulcer sticking out the bottom of her back left foot. It was absolutely huge. We call this pedunculated because basically it's got a stalk hanging out the bottom of her foot from her corium. This is exposed corium, the part of the foot that is supposed to be growing the hoof horn. But when it's sticking out like this and fully exposed, it's open to the elements and digital dermatitis, and that is exactly what happened to this cow's foot. Every time we tried to repair it, digital dermatitis was attacking the corium, and it just failed and failed and failed to get any better. But after a couple of visits we did start to make some progress, and this is how she ended up looking. She was clearly still lame, still struggling with this foot, and it was definitely not healed. We'd made a huge amount of progress, and during our last visit, this was the state of affairs. We are very close to healing her. Fast forward about 6 weeks from that visit, and we are back on farm today, and cow 2803 is ready and waiting to go into our crush. So I'm really keen to get her foot up into the air, to get it washed off, and to see the fruits of our labour. This will pretty much answer the question that I posed at the beginning of this video. Is an ulcer as bad as this actually curable or not? Let's find out. Right, what have we got? It doesn't look like it's healed. Right, let's get it washed off and actually see. So a lot of you ask why we don't always wash a cow's feet off. We don't want to get the electrical equipment absolutely soaking wet. We don't want the cow to be in the crush for any longer than she needs to be. I've noticed a bit of a trend on YouTube and on Facebook lately where people are going to town washing cows' feet with sponges and things like that, and yes, it looks kind of good on video, but all it's doing is keeping the cows in the crush for longer than they need to be, and it doesn't make any sense. It's not true in reality, and yeah, that's why we don't wash feet. In this case, it will benefit us having our foot completely clean because we won't make any cuts that we really don't want to. We'll really analyse the foot properly. Right, so clearly this is where the ulcer was, or perhaps even still is, to be honest. There's a big crack right up here where the hoof horn is not forming properly. I think I can actually see the corium through it as well, so my hope is beginning to fade. So regardless as to whether or not this foot has healed, we need to return the balance back to 50-50, and that's why we've got the grinder in our hand right now. If we look from side on, you can see this outer claw is too high, the angle is too acute, and we need to rectify that by taking the heel down, taking the toe down, and actually taking a bit off the entire sole. And now that we've done that, we can grab the knife and get at it. The moment of truth. I'm holding my breath. That's not just something I say, by the way. I do find myself holding my breath in sort of anticipation, and almost as if it's got to make me make more accurate cuts. Noisy cow in the background there, folks. Sorry. I did ask her to be quiet, but she obviously never got the memo. Okay, it's clearly miles better than it actually was to begin with, but I fear it hasn't completely healed. Let's get in here with the hook of my knife. Oh. Has it healed? No. Yes. No. Trying to skirt round about this with the hook of the knife, just flicking bits away from from the lesion. Look at this. Right, it hasn't healed, okay, it hasn't healed, but wow. This is a result. This answers the question, is an ulcer like this capable of healing? Right now, no, it hasn't, but it is definitely capable of it. We're getting there. Just get these little tiny little shreds from round about this ulcer. I'm gonna have to actually swap knives. Ease that little bit out. I think it's detached, so it needs to come away. Right, it's looking pretty, isn't it? Not as pretty as me though. What's that face for?
No comment.
Anyway, this heel's actually not quite low enough. I haven't done a good job with the grinder. I need to lower it a little bit. Take that off. Right, okay, so this is an ulcer. We would class this as a score 1 ulcer. So it is affecting our pain thresholds. It is causing lameness. It is sore. And as such, we need to get the weight off that to continue the healing process. I don't think we'll bother with a block this time though. It'll probably be okay like that. Seriously, if you actually think I was being serious there, have a word. Go back, watch the rest of my videos and understand that I was not being serious. She needs a block. Although she's been in countless times again, she's had lots of blocks. This will not get better without a block on. She needs a block to get that up off the ground, to get the pain away from it so that she can walk properly. And every time she's stepping, it's not being insulted by the ground beneath it. And no, Craig, I don't mean the ground is calling it lots of names and things like that.
That's what you tend to think about yourself.
What?
That everyone's... No, I'm not gonna go there.
What? That everyone's what?
Beneath you. Maybe you should be there. That was quite a shot.
Out!
Wasn't it?
Out! The door's that way. The door's that way. On you go. On you go. Door's that way. If anybody would like to become a full-time foot trimmer, we have a position available.
No, you don't.
And with that rather awkward conversation out of the way, please submit your applications for Craig's job in the comments below. All we're doing now is getting this claw ready to apply a block and then trimming the other 3 feet, where we run into a bit of a problem.
So as Kev expertly puts this block in position to make sure that it will never leave the foot prematurely, I crack on with trimming these other 3 feet. It has been a couple of months since she's been in, so she will benefit from it. Plus, when a cow has a sore back left foot, it stands to reason that she's going to put more pressure on all of the other 3 feet, or at least the back right foot, because she's trying to get the pain away from the problem area. So trimming these other 3 feet is exceptionally important. So as we're trimming these feet, some of you are bound to think, what's the point? There's nothing wrong with these front feet. But the point is, there could be something wrong, and all we're really doing is checking that they are perfect. And just to prove her point, when it comes to this back right foot, she has some severe bruising on it. She is using that foot much more than her back left foot now because she's trying to get the weight away from that. And that has resulted in this deep hemorrhaging of her sole. So we are putting a block on here to make sure that that bruising doesn't turn into an ulcer. Right, all that remains to do is douse these feet in iodine to try and harden up the outer layers of hoof horn and let her go. And this is how cow 2803 is walking now. Yes, she has 2 blocks in place, but just look at how well she is walking now. This is how she was walking during her first visits, really feeling that back left foot. And this again is how she's walking today. She almost looks like a different cow. She's walking that well. This is what a farmer's commitment to the health and well-being of his cow's hoof care can do. But her journey is not finished. She is not completely cured, and that ulcer has not completely disappeared. But now, seeing the results today, I'm confident it will disappear.